everybody. Welcome to Tadaima, a Terrace House podcast, your weekly companion to your favorite show on Netflix. I'm Robert Scarpanito, and I'm joined here by Daily Wilhelm.
Hey there, guys.
Jack Cepeda. Beautiful. And Colin Squarling.
Irashaimase.
Gross. And we're here to give you guys our predictions for Opening New Doors Part 5. It's coming out on December 18th. It cannot come any sooner. And we've all had a burning desire to see those next 8 episodes. And if you don't remember... Oh. What?
Hot. That's all I said.
It's all hot. It's all hot.
Yes.
We did an episode on Part 4, a huge in-depth recap. So if you haven't listened to that, feel free to check it out if you need a refresher. But aside from that, let's move on to our predictions, our hot takes, our cold takes, every one of them. And I'm going to throw it to Daily first. Give us one of your predictions.
Okay, so this is total speculation. I have no fact to base this on, but my theory goes this way. So we talked about in the last episode how Taka and Aya seem kind of like a guaranteed pair, or at least in the sense that the show very much set it up that she's a fan of Taka, and Taka hasn't had anyone since Ami, and he never really had Ami to begin with.
Right. No one
so this is kind of the solution for Taka, who has been on for, 32 episodes now. He's in the running to be the longest Terrace House member. I'm wondering if we see this hesitation with Taka and going after Aya, and we theorize that maybe that's because she's a fan and that's a little weird, or maybe she's not actually his type. I'm wondering if Taka, maybe this is something that he doesn't know about himself, is his type isn't even female.
Ooh.
Maybe
Whoa.
they have set up our new member Shunsuke, who's bi, as an eye-opening experience, and a new door to open for Taka as well.
I like it.
Man, this is controversial. So you're saying Taka's going to pull a 180 and say, talk to the hand, Aya. I'm here for Mr.
For Shunsuke.
For Shunsuke.
Man, that would be an ordeal.
He has a new man to shave his mustache for.
Oh my God.
They'll shave each other's mustaches in the shower.
God. I'm sure there's some Rule 34 somewhere.
Yikes.
Mustaches?
No, sure.
Clearly,
Just
yes.
mustaches.
But I think that would be crazy, because
Man.
There's no way in hell that if that happened, Taka's blue collar family is going to be accepting of that. You know what I mean?
Nope.
Do you think?
He's a rice farmer.
He's a rice farmer.
But that makes some assumptions about the way they are because of their occupations.
Well, I'm assuming because they asked, "Are you going to get a wife?" So
Right.
Yeah.
I mean,
There's
it
that
seemed
too.
like the
That's true.
relatively conservative type.
I mean, I don't even necessarily know about conservative, but it's just with the way they phrase the question, it's like they all clearly think he's straight. He hasn't given any hints in the 32 years they've known him that he could lean any other way.
I think that's crazy, man. He was so excited when Shion and I can't remember people's names. No, that Shion and the other guy, Shohei, went over and showed him the phone of my youth. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
oppai.
right, right then and there. Yeah.
Can I zoom in?
Yeah, so I think that, man, but here's the thing. You're swinging for the fences, Daly. You're coming out hot here. Like, if you nail that,
take.
you were going to look like an oracle. So
Yeah, you're
high risk, high
like
reward.
you're going on the Tadaima like wall of fame.
Holy crap. We'll see.
That prediction.
To actually
I can't see that happening, though. But
to speak to your point there, Jack, though, it's pretty common for closet gay people to like overextend or overcompensate. That's it. Where they're like, "Oh yeah, dude, I love boobs. Can I? Let me zoom in." Right?
No, it's definitely not the first time that's happened. Yeah.
Yeah.
It could be a similar situation with Shunsuke too, where he's bi, and you can like both very much so.
Mm-hmm. True. I think with Taka, I think he's just going to leave very soon, regardless of what his sexual identity is. I think things aren't going to work out with Aya for one way or another, but he's going to leave.
Taka?
Yes.
Damn.
Okay, I got a more optimistic viewpoint of this, guys. I think that he might actually seal the deal here.
With Aya?
Meaning that I think they're going to begin to date. And I don't know if they'll leave as a couple, but here's the thing. Let's start with baby steps, guys. I think they're going to kiss very soon. And it probably will be awkward. And when they kiss, that'll be probably when they realize that they don't have a flame there. And they're more friends. And they're more friends, and then they're going to probably leave as friends. I think that's a very realistic, grounded prediction.
Yeah, you know what? I think right now, I know we talked about in the last episode how we think, or at least I think, Taka is definitely, he has his guard up after the whole Ami situation. Maybe he's a little hurt. And that's what I like to think is happening here. Maybe he's just hesitant to pursue this because...
the problem is she's not making fun. She's not making fun of his beans enough, his curry.
Right. And so he's not spending any time chasing Aya like he did Ami. And I'm not saying Ami was just kind of being it was also partly Taka's ignorance, but Ami was being pretty tough on him. Right. So I think that it's partly that, and he's just waiting for the hurt to come in somewhere, and it could be that. But I think at least hopefully, this is what I hope happens, is that Aya finally has a really disarming moment with Taka, right, where he feels like he's comfortable enough he can let his guard down, and then something happens and they do end up together. That's what I want to happen. As of right now, it could go any which way. I honestly, all three of your guys' predictions, right as of it stands right now, is pretty much fair game.
Not dailies. Come on.
I mean, we don't know what Taka's sexual history is. Maybe he has dated a guy and it just hasn't come up.
Would be a hell of a plot twist.
Fair game. I'm just glad you said fair game. What?
I don't know.
It's possible, but
in my eyes, I think Taka he's a very mature. I mean, he's 31, right? And he acts like a 31-year-old. But every time he talks, he kind of comes off like he has a lot of wisdom. Like he's experienced a lot. He knows what he's doing. And I just can't see a situation where he'd end up kissing Aya. Because if that happened, I think he would have shown and we would have seen a lot more interest than we have now. But as of right now, I don't think he's showing enough interest, where in my head, it's like he's grounded enough to kiss her.
Yeah, we'll see. It's a delicate situation here with this one. I think everyone here, maybe, I don't want to speak for the table, but I feel like most people want to see this resolve in a positive way. I think most people are rooting for Taka in a way, more so than rooting for Aya. Just again, he's been striking out left and right. So they're just hoping he can find romance, I guess. Yeah. Clearly, Aya's made up her mind. She's down for some Taka-san.
Right. But at the same time, though, if he finds out that it's just not really working for him and he just doesn't think she's the right one, then that's just what it comes down to, right? Because we don't want him to end up with someone who's going to be unhappy with, especially with how much pressure he's getting from all sides to find someone.
I love your depiction of Taka in your scenario there. You're like, Taka's just like, I push people away, then I get mad when they leave.
I think there's something to that. I don't know. I don't know if he's Mr. Sensitive Emo Boy, but it happens though. It certainly happens where something happens in a relationship where it leaves a bad taste in your mouth, and so you're still trying to come down from that.
I think, because with Ami, I feel like he must have really thought it was a sure thing because of the lengths that he went to, and then have that backfire and have other people very visibly see that backfire.
Yeah,
that's embarrassing. And you might want to play things close to your chest for a while after that.
It is humiliating. It was humbling. He did overextend himself, I would say, with the shaving and everything.
He changed his facial hair.
Right.
Yeah, and
as a gift.
I think that what I do think is a positive sign though is that with this Aya thing happening, what the biggest thing with Ami, what happened between him and Ami is he just changed so much that he was almost not even the person that we would recognize going into the whole Ami debacle. You know what I mean? He wasn't the same Taka. And then when he came out with it, he was like, he was, okay, Taka's back. You know what I mean? He's back to his kind of rooted sort of wisdom big brother character that he tends to be.
Right.
And so even with Aya now, he's still sticking to that, right? I don't think we're seeing too much of a change in his character. And part of that could be that he's just a little bit skeptical. Maybe he has his guard up. Maybe maybe it's true, and maybe he's not feeling it. Maybe something happens, and all this thing falls in and on itself because of him. Who knows? But I'm gonna at least take it as a good sign, maybe that he is staying as himself, and maybe she actually likes him for who he is.
I do think that both of them are not long for this world, this Terrace house world.
Do they have? Oh, okay.
The house. No,
I
just the house.
I was like, damn, Jack.
That's the plot twist. They both have cancer.
Yeah, they're gonna Romeo and Juliet here. No, I just think that their time is nigh. I think it's coming to a head, and I think they're gonna reach an inflection point. They're gonna reach a point where they need to, jump or walk away, I guess.
Yeah.
So
I mean,
we'll
if they do get together, obviously then they'd leave. But if they don't get together, I would feel really bad for Aya, who has kind of given this her all in the same way that Taka kind of gave his all with Ami. Mm-hmm. So that I feel like she would want to leave because there's nothing more for her there than, like, not to say that, like, her only purpose in Terrace house is to pursue Taka, but that would be just kind of, again, like, publicly embarrassing to get that rejection.
Right. She came in showing all her cards, though, too. She came in clearly like she was one mind, one focus, one Taka-san. This is why I'm here. It's a big gamble. She doesn't care. And she even said, like, I think Yui said, like, wow, how do you just, like, speak your mind like that? And she's like, well, he might not be here tomorrow. So I want to make it known.
That's true. And it's worth noting about Aya, too, is that it's not like she's pursuing Taka in the way that Mayu was pursuing Noah, right? Aya is even though it's very clear her feelings towards Taka for the most part, she's not being overbearing, much like Mayu was. I think she's being pretty reserved, and she's just playing it cool.
Yeah.
And she's just seeing where this is going to take her.
I just think in the end, I don't see Taka reciprocating the feelings. I really don't.
Okay,
like
so that's your prediction. That's your final prediction.
Final prediction is that Taka is going to be like, no, I'm out. I'm out of Terrace house. I'm done.
Damn.
Yeah, I mean, maybe it turns into one of those things where he feels the pressure from her. He feels the pressure from his family, right? And in a way, from the producers, right? That, like, holy shit, this is getting to be too much.
He's gonna tap out.
You're right, and I'm just tired of it. So, like, I need to get out of here, and I want to focus on me or focus on whatever I need to do, or finding a person for myself, for that matter.
Did everyone get something in here then on this subject? Should we switch it up?
I think, yeah. Unless no final words, let's move.
That's it. Okay,
Jeff,
I've got one.
All right.
Yes, I do, and it's a bummer.
Good.
And I hate being that guy.
Be that guy.
But we all know that whenever Noah leaves, or whenever it was established that Yui and Noah are not a thing, what did Yui's mom say? I think this is fucking hilarious, because she said, just wait for the next guy to show up, thinking Noah might leave soon. That didn't happen yet. Who knows? That we'll get there here in a few minutes. But Shohei sure as fuck left pretty fast with the quickness. And now Yui is excited. And really her only reason for hanging around there is for who is the next male guy to show up. And is he someone that will woo me and will take my purity and my virginity, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. Then we get Shunsuke. Which is like the irony of all irony. Like, sorry, Yui, you were really like loading up here waiting for this. And this ain't for ya. This ain't for ya. Shunsuke ain't about it.
He's bi.
He was asking about dudes, dude. He's not there for Yui. Maybe they'll be best friends. Maybe they're best friends. But anyways, so let me get my prediction out before you guys start shooting me down. Damn. So right, like damn, I can tell you guys want to jump down my throat. So So Shunsuke's there. Yui's going to be bummed. And I think Yui might be the first person out of the house when part 5 starts. She will probably be the first to leave. Unless, with the caveat that Noah and Seina stick around for a while. If Noah leaves, then I think she'll stay. But I think Noah and Seina stay around for a while, especially because they're going hot and heavy, right? Yui can't take it. The fact that the other guy is not, gonna date her, interested in dating her or anything like that. Maybe she's not interested in him. I think this is really what she's waiting for, and she's gonna be disappointed, and she's gonna be one of the first ones out of there. So that's my prediction. Go ahead, proceed to kill me now.
Jack, I'd just like to say that your prediction makes me feel like we're the pregame commentators during college football Saturday.
Yes. Yeah, we need like a mascot head. We need a mascot head to put on. Like, who's going to leave? We need like masks on and like wave to the crowd.
Yeah, after his performance
Coach,
last week.
I think you're right that about Yui's performance in Terrace House. I think she's going to leave.
Yeah, after Noah got benched. No,
I love when Robert talks about sports.
Yeah, when Yui touchdowned the
touchdown,
ball,
the field goal.
I think.
Seina scored the goal.
I think Noah and Seina will leave before Yui does, which is why, according to your prediction, Jack, which is why I think Yui will stay.
Feasible. It's feasible. We don't know, but yeah, we'll see what happens.
I feel like Yui will stay on just because I think there is a possibility with Shunsuke because he is bi. He's not gay.
Zero.
There's a flexibility there. And I think, one of the things that he was explaining when he came onto the show and he was talking with the guys was, he wanted the experience of being, right up front and true with himself in order to kind of confirm the feelings that he does have. And not feel like he has to hide them, just in the sense that, it's part of your identity. And if you're able to hold on to that and be clear with it, then you can also kind of confirm with yourself. It's like, yes, this isn't a phase. This isn't what people are saying that I must like because I like makeup and hair, something like that. I think it's more about him being true with himself versus trying to date a guy necessarily.
Remind me here. I really can't remember. Had he met Yui and Aya and Seina before he went in the room with the boys and was asking if they know guys? I cannot remember.
It was only guys home when he moved in.
Okay.
Oh, that's right.
My point being is if he did meet the girls, then he went in the room and was asking about dudes, there's zero chance he's dating a girl. He's not there for that, is what I'm saying. So that's the point I was trying to make, but who knows? It's all pending. It's all going to be exciting. It's all new to Terrace House. These are new conversations, that are ongoing. So I'm excited to see what happens.
I do agree.
I at first it was a little jarring to me to think of the idea of whether or not Shunsuke and Yui are compatible, but at the same time, Daily, when you were explaining how honest he was being, is trying to find himself. That's what he's trying to do. And
that's a good way of putting it.
So, yeah. And so I think that if Yui, at the very least, if Yui and Shunsuke end up being friends, right? Yui is not the type to hold back and tell you about your personal flaws, right?
Yep.
So maybe Yui is that honesty that Shunsuke is looking for. Right? Even if they're just friends. But if that turns into something romantic, maybe. But even just on the friendship level, I think that they could click just because of that, because Yui is being relatively straight shooting.
And as far as Yui's romantic options go, I'm predicting that Taka's leaving. And at the same time, I also think Noah and Seina are leaving, which that opens up 2 boy seats for the potential for Yui to find another guy.
You think they're leaving together as a couple, off into the sunset, a la Tsubasa and Shion?
Here's the thing. I think that Seina and Noah are leaving together as a couple. I think the sunset they're riding into is a pit straight from hell. Because there's no way they're going to end up happy.
I don't give their relationship any longevity at all.
No.
I've always maintained 4-6 months maybe.
Yeah.
Right. And that's kind of getting into my prediction is and I don't think it's a spicy hot take to say that Noah and Seina are not going to last long for this world. And because just on the basis of like how this last episode went, it was them like it was happening hot and fast, and it was a fling, and next thing you know, they're like, hey, or Noah's just like, hey, we should date. And Seina's just like, Seina wasn't like, yeah, yes, 1,000 times yes, jumping into his arms. It was more like, what the hell? Let's do it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't built on a solid foundation. It wasn't like a Shion and Tsubasa whatsoever. It was kind of the opposite, honestly.
Dude, speaking of Noah, Shunsuke is into some Noah. He thinks he's very handsome, if we remember.
Yeah, if I remember right, didn't at the end of episode, like the last one in part 4, didn't Noah ask Shunsuke like, "Oh, you could do my makeup," and Shunsuke was like, "Oh, you don't need any."
That's right.
And I was like,
Interesting.
Ooh.
That's an interesting dynamic. I mean, I wonder if we're gonna get like scenes where Shunsuke actually is doing people's makeup on the show.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I could see that. Yeah, he'll probably be, hanging out with, the girls and talking about that stuff, and that could be funny.
Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, I thought it was kind of funny how Noah wasn't hesitant about like, yeah, you should totally do my makeup.
Right.
Yeah, well, it is becoming a more
the guy's good
common
at
of a
it. He's
thing,
got skills,
especially in Asian countries. Like, like the phenomenon that is K-pop. That's not, across the board. All male Koreans are wearing makeup now, but it's certainly been at least a little normalized in that sense of men wearing makeup. Yeah. I don't trust Noah around Shunsuke just because he feels like he would lead him on just because he could, the way he did with Yui. And kind of unrepentantly. Like,
he found someone else to do his laundry.
Oh my gosh.
Oh no.
Because I genuinely
prediction
can't
number 3.
tell
Oh god.
if it's ignorance on his part that he doesn't realize, like, oh, well, Yui clearly feels things for you, and if you're not intending on reciprocating that, you should make that clear. I can't tell if it's like a malicious thing where he like literally is like, well, I don't really care what she thinks, I don't need to tell her anything, or if it is just ignorance and he doesn't figure that that's what she's feeling. No. So I worry about that on the other side with like Shunsuke, if he sticks around, that is, which I don't think that they're going to be here for much longer, Seina and Noah.
I don't give Noah that benefit of the doubt to that point. Like, I definitely don't think it's ignorance. I do think it's malicious. I think he's somewhat of a sociopath when it comes to a lot of things. I think he's used to running people over and kind of using people. And I don't know what it is about him, but it's just the way he treated Shohei. It just seems to me like very sociopathic behavior. Like, he just cannot empathize with people. He cannot like identify with what other people are feeling. He's just concerned with himself and how people can better him. Right. And we've seen that kind of repeat itself. So I think that he really didn't care that Yui would be hurt, that he just started friend zoning her literally an hour after he told her not to ask him out anymore. He doesn't care. He's that big a shithead. So
yeah, I was honestly surprised after Seina and Noah came back from the hotel and he asked her to be his girlfriend. I don't know, the vibe I was getting, like the way that he was acting and the way that she was acting, it was kind of like, okay, that's it. Like we had our fun and now we're done. Or that he wasn't interested anymore now that he, got the woman that seemed otherwise unattainable at the beginning.
Like he got his prize, now he's done.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Ooh. Yeah. And honestly, like, I think... Man, it's hard to tell, but like Seina and Noah, right? I think it's gonna be Seina who's gonna break it off, because I mean Seina reads people like a book usually, you know what I mean? And as soon as she sees that Noah, unless she's just seriously staying for the money, she's gonna see through Noah like crazy and see that he's just a kind of a bum and he's just not doing much. You know what I mean? 'Cause eventually that's going to be a strain on their relationship. If it doesn't come sooner, that'll come later.
Here's a couple things real quick before you go on. There's a couple assumptions that are being made. The assumption is that he's going to be getting a lot of his parents' money. I mean, he'll be earning it eventually when he becomes CEO. But so that's one assumption. And assumption 2 is that he wants to marry or be in a long-term relationship with Seina. Maybe we have to, consider the fact that he might be using her for sex too.
Yeah.
No, and that very well could be and that's the reason why we're saying that it's definitely not a solid relationship.
Right.
And we're gonna find out where they stand in that dynamic as episodes go on. But yeah, I don't know. I think that when it comes down to it, if someone had to break it off, I think it's gonna be Seina. But I don't know. What do you guys think?
Oh, I think Seina probably would be the one to go because she'll find some other young buck.
Yeah, Seina seems like the more mature one. So she's going to be very easily like, yep, we've had our fun. We're good.
Oh, yeah. I mean, there's like a 10-year age gap there. I think, dude, I'm older than
close,
Noah. Yeah.
Really?
Like,
Wow.
Yeah.
He was born in November 96, actually.
Well, Colin, if I may say so, you're a high-spec motherfucker.
Hey.
Yeah, boy.
I don't think it's like maliciousness on Seina's part, like that she's kind of like the serial monogamist when it comes to Terrace House. I just think maybe, I don't know. It is just because she's dating younger guys and they have different expectations than she does, and there's that gap in communication where it's like, no, I'm just here for, going out to the bars and drinking until we can't stand. When it gets to the point where it's like, oh, I want you, to really nail this down and we're going to live together and do this, then it's like, not so interested anymore.
The thing about Seina too, if we remember when she came into the show, and correct me if I'm wrong, didn't she say she's there to find her last love?
Yeah, she did.
That's
say
true.
that.
That's the challenge I'm having with this whole
name.
thing. Yeah, that's the challenge I'm having with this whole thing. Like, I just think no one's convinced that Noah is her last love. He's just kind of like the flavor of the week. So I just don't get the vibes that Seina's in it long term. I just really don't, even though that's what she said. So that's why I'm just like, I
definitely
Seina.
feel like, I mean, even when she said yes to Noah asking her out, like she seemed hesitant. Like I'm not the only one who got that, right? She definitely seemed hesitant.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She was scared.
I feel like she said yes because the cameras were on. Like if the cameras weren't on, it would have been a no.
And maybe she was just scared to be hurt too. She got off a bad breakup too. Who knows? I'm just trying to be fair, I guess.
Yeah. All I know is they're gonna break up soon.
Yeah, I
think so.
I think all of us agree that this is probably going to end in a dumpster fire.
But to that end, though, it will be a huge shock, and I will congratulate them if they end up still together. And they leave together and it's a happy ending. Like, hey, good for them, bravo, slow golf clap, but please leave.
Could you imagine that if they ended up married? Mom, how'd you meet Dad? Well, we were camping with 4 other reality TV show stars one night.
Well, this guy it all started at this church this guy rented. He handed me a scroll.
God, that just consoled the whole thing. Like, hey, remember in 10 years we're going to have to explain to our kids like, oh, how'd you and Mom meet? I said hey in Facebook Messenger.
I just love how I'm thinking about this now. I just love how Shohei basically like gave her a fucking Skyrim quest to go on before he asked her to be his girlfriend. Take this scroll.
He was like from the Dark Brotherhood, and it was like, we know.
We know.
Take this scroll. Meet me here at 7. Right? It was like meet me at these coordinates.
Yeah, basically.
But like
You're a
that would have
geocacher?
been.
No.
But like that would have been the story that you tell your grandkids. It's like your grandfather, he asked me out to like this church, and then we tell the funny story about how he kept calling the church to ask permission. They're like, we don't care. We really don't care. And presented me with this beautiful bouquet, and like that's what happened. And then maybe they get married there later on. That's why I really saw like Shohei could have been her last love that she was wanting to find, but I think she wasn't ready to give up this lifestyle that she likes of young dudes and many drinks and taxi cabs.
She needs to be very, very physically attracted to someone. I really think it came out of physical attraction with Shohei. I think everything else would have been fine, but it was the physical thing that she couldn't get past.
Here's the ultimate prediction, guys. Will she be on Terrace House 5, opening new windows?
I definitely am not going to sit here and say no. I mean, she's a staple. She's basically the mascot of the show.
Oh, yeah.
Seina-san.
Yes, Seina-san.
Well,
Okay.
Seina-san.
All right. I've got a prediction here.
Go for it.
I think by the time part 5 ends, Shunsuke will not be the only member in the house who is a part of the LGBT community.
Interesting.
I think they're going to bring in more people that are either going to be bi, queer, gay, something.
I will take the contrary opinion, and I'm betting they do not. Not for any specific reason. I just think it's going to be a cast. I don't think it's going to be like a specific choice. I just think cast-wise, they're not going to have a big pool to draw from. Just because the show's not traditionally known for that. So I'm gonna go on a limb and say that there will not be another member of the LGBT this season. Who to say? Maybe next season there could be a few.
You know, I think that runs into the issue of like, how do you balance that, right? If you're like the producers of the show, right, and you're trying to balance, you know, because you have 3 girls, 3 boys. That's what Terrace House has always been, right, since the beginning. But then if you throw in the variable of like we need to have a gay or a bi person, right? Then you like how do you balance that from a casting choice decision?
Right, because then you have 2, and now there's
2.
high pressure that they're the ones that have to pair. It's awkward.
Exactly. So unless they decide to increase the number up to 8 somehow or something like that,
is this a fucking college football playoff? What the fuck is this?
Yeah, I don't know, dude. Bring up college football again. I don't know, dude. Like I feel like it would be really hard to consistently cast that, and I don't know if that's the move they're gonna make in the future. But if they're gonna consistently start doing this, I feel like changes are gonna have to be made. You know, to keep that pressure off that person, because otherwise you're gonna get it to where like if you're only having 1, maybe 2 LGBT person on the show, then they're consistently going to be looking for people outside the cast of the house. I mean, with the exception of, I'm sure there'll be a twist here and there, but like for the most part, I would think. And I'm not sure if the producers really want that.
I'm gonna disagree just in that I think like bisexuality can be very balanced in the terms that like anywhere is fair game, anyone is fair game. And I think continuing in that trend of like casting queer folks into Terrace House would kind of like get rid of that stigma that I think the show has, and that it's like, oh, they're, you know, expected to, you know, pair off heterosexually, because there are some like pretty sexist assumptions within Terrace House, and I think there's especially the age thing irks me a lot of the times where the women skew significantly younger than the men. And so if they can have that same expectation that like a 20-year-old's going to be attracted to, you know, a 32-year-old man, I think that, you know, we can break the box a little bit and say that it would be all right if we had, you know, like another queer person on the show.
Right. Hold on.
To be just to clarify, just to reiterate, like I'm totally like for having like LGBTQ members on the show. I'm just curious how they're going to do it from a production standpoint. Like, are they going to go about it in a way that they need? Are they going to feel like they need to rebalance the cast? I guess if you're going to consider like bisexual people, then I mean they can go either way. So, I mean, I don't know. I'm just curious how they're going to do it.
I want to ask, like, is there that age skew going on? Because I don't know. I thought it was pretty even. You got Seina, you got Taka, older. You had Yudai super young. You got Yui super young. I thought it was pretty even. Am I wrong?
I mean,
it seemed to be even to me. I don't know.
Seina is the oldest woman. Right?
If anything, age wise, like was bothering me during this season, it was kind of an ageist attitude towards Taka. They treated him like he was fucking grandpa. You know, Ami was like, I literally will not date you because the year you were born, it had nothing to do with his personality or anything he was doing, you know. But so I felt like kind of like, you know, as someone older too, I was like, oh, that left me with like a kind of sour feeling to kind of see Taka get discriminated against for purely his age. It seemed like, you know, so that was my point of view.
I mean, I'd like to see more data, you know, just maybe like chart it out, see the age skew.
Are you talking about Terrace House overall or this season, Daly?
Both. I mean,
okay.
Overall, I definitely think there's that skew can be illustrated, but okay. I think Terrace House not as much, or Opening New Doors not as much so, but I think it's still there.
See, the reason that I want to see more LGBT members in the house is because it would kind of break the mold the show is in. Whereas, yeah, it's still interesting, but I can't help but be excited at the possibilities of just one LGBT member being in the house. Because that opens up so many doors to what could happen, right? Whereas here, like how the show's been, it's always been, well, you've got Taishi, and he's either going to go for 1, 2, or 3 girls. That's it. You know, and it's like, sure, there's a lot of possibilities there, but just seeing how the house members interact with someone who isn't heterosexual, right? Like that would be very interesting to me because you don't see that often in Japanese media. You know,
it would be a step. Yeah, it would be a step towards progression, certainly socially. So I respect that. I'm looking at things just from like a business perspective, and I just feel like there's like meetings going on at Fujifilm, and there's like graph charts and bar graphs and all that, and there's just the lines are not intersecting with like the business behind Terrace House, which is like I know like. There are people that would want to see like, hey, let's have 6 bi people that are gender fluid. They're just dating everyone all the time and just open love. And like, that might seem like idyllic, right? A situation. But I just feel like from a business perspective, like bottom line, right? Like this show has to like pay the bills, right? And have an audience. I just feel like that's going to alienate everyone that's been or not everyone. That's going to alienate a large percentage of the people that have been watching the show, right? So I think that's a step too far, too quickly, right? Like, but they're doing it right now by like introducing it slowly. But like, we'll see. I mean, how much are they going to change the show? I just think it's very risky again, just from like a business perspective.
I mean, to clarify, I'm not asking for next week to be everyone's gay. Like that would basically be the same thing the show is now, just gay, right?
Right.
I think it'd be good. It'd be
a different show, essentially.
Right. It'd be good to have a good mix. Like I'm thinking in this season, at most probably one other person is going to be LGBT in the house.
Yeah. My hope, I guess, is that I hope that sexuality overall does not determine who comes into the show or not. I would just hope for like strong characters, strong personalities, entertaining interactions, right? Is like what I hope for. Like bring in more Udais essentially is what I'm saying. I want more train wrecks of human beings. I need to be entertained here.
Oh no.
Yeah, I don't care who he wants to date, but bring
Udai.
train wreck people in, please. Make this interesting.
Bring him in and call him Tudai.
Stop. Oh I want to die right now.
No, hashtag to die. Yeah, to die. Well played. I get it now.
Yeah.
No,
awesome.
I mean, yeah. I think it'll just I'm just really curious how this whole Shunsuke thing's gonna play out, and I hope like everyone is super accepting of him, and it seems like they are so far. We haven't seen their girls' reactions yet, but yeah, if I'm all for if they start to include more LGBTQ members later on.
Anyone else have any other hot takes or opinions?
We hit every cast member, right? We hit every member.
I think so.
Okay. Yeah. So just overall, okay. Are they going to? How long is the show going to go? I guess. Like, let's just do some real quick, rapid fire predictions here, right? Like, do we know is there going to be a part 6?
Yes.
Oh, we know that already.
Yes.
Oh, well, that was a fast prediction then. Okay.
More of a truth, but yes.
Okay. Any other like real quick hot ones here? Why don't they get a pet? There needs to be animals.
I was
in Terrace
just
House.
thinking that. Can we have a cat? Can we have a cat?
Can we have? Please, people. We need a. Why are there no animals in the show? We need mascots. Yeah. So
Neko-chan.
that's my hope.
Yeah.
That's my
Not a
hope.
prediction,
Any other
just a
little
hope.
ones?
It's a hope.
Yeah.
I mean, it'd be really interesting because it would add the whole dynamic of like, who the fuck's gonna take care of the cat?
Exactly. Yeah. I can
It's
see
gonna be
lot
a
of
fat
fun.
cat. Everyone's gonna like be feeding it simultaneously, and it's like, I fed the cat. No, I fed the cat. No, I fed the cat. The cat's like,
Yeah. I'm full. Yeah.
Well, I think though, like for the most part, I think the reason why they haven't done it before is because usually the cast members are pretty busy day to day, so there wouldn't be anyone consistently home to take care of it long enough.
The crew,
Maybe, I don't know.
crew members?
Then what if the cat gets attached to people and then they leave?
Oh, that's true.
So no pets.
Yeah, that cat is
I
just
predict
whatever.
that they'll probably still not have pets.
I
Yeah,
mean, they could have
probably
like
won't.
a turtle. You know, it's like a turtle in a tank in the living room or something.
Fish
I mean,
tank.
I think they've had fish before, haven't they?
Maybe.
Maybe.
I don't know.
Fish is not a pet.
An
That's
aquarium.
not a pet.
Anyway,
That's
Yeah,
an obligation.
that's an obligation. They just look cool.
Yeah,
there's
that's
a-
not a pet.
There's a part of me that thinks Yui's not going to find love in Terrace House at all. And maybe that's just because I don't like her. But
That was my first
Dang.
prediction, bro.
Hot take.
That was my
Yeah.
first prediction.
I mean, I want her to, but yeah, I kind of agree. I don't
She's too
think it will
scary.
happen for her. I think that's what she's still here for.
to find
But
it.
as soon as she figures out that maybe it's not going to happen for her, then bye-bye Yui.
My prediction is that Yui's going to continue to break out fucking lists for
I
men
hope so.
in the future.
Oh my
The rest of her
God.
life, she's going to be known as that.
I can't wait for the next time she's like, can I feel your face? Yeah. I'd reconsider it.
Yeah.
Feeling Shunsuke's face. Yeah, you wear too much makeup.
All right.
Oh my God.
If no one else has anything to say, I think it's time for us to wrap this one up.
Cut it out.
Cut it out. Yeah. So this was episode 6 of Tadaima. Just to reiterate again, we do have a Facebook group at Tadaima Clan. Feel free to check us out there. It's a great way for us to interact with you guys and for you to tell us anything you want us to know about. And we're on iTunes again, so hit us up. Give us a review. Jack, do you want to go through the contest once again?
Yeah, guys, just a quick refresher here. We are running a contest. And again, this is all built around helping us build a following, build a listener base, and help us spread the word, the Tadaima love across this great nation and across this great planet. And so it's very simple to enter our contest that we're running now. All you have to do is follow us on Instagram at Tadaimagram, follow us on Twitter at Tadaima Pod, and then also leave us a review on iTunes or any aggregate podcast site. Leave us a review. Again, it doesn't matter if it's positive or whatever. I mean, or negative. Like, we just want to hear feedback from you, and if there's ways we can improve the show, then let us know. And so we appreciate you guys. And once you do that, those 3 steps, you're going to be automatically entered into the contest, and then we are going to make it worth your while. So it's going to be a prize that we haven't really made the final determinations, but we're floating ideas as like, a very nice, great Amazon gift card emailed to you, something like that. We'll figure something out, but we're going to make it worth your while to do that for us. And so thank you for that. And hurry up with those reviews. Don't wait.
Same. If you have any feedback, please feel free to email us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com. We'd love to read your feedback on the show, or if you have anything you want us to talk about, any questions you want answered, etc. This has been Tadaima. Thanks for listening. Itekimasu!
You can email us at questions@terracehousepodcast.com, follow us on Instagram at Tadaimagram, on Twitter at TadaimaPod, and check us out on Facebook and YouTube at Tadaima, a Terrace House podcast.